Back again. How's it going, everybody? My name is Haloran. I am a caster for Chair League. Plenty of Chair League action yet for the rest of the evening. Going on other channels too. Next game that I have the good fortune of casting is going to be Focus Morales or GG versus Divine Nine. Excited to see this game. It's going to be on Sky Temple. I need to get the draft links out to these esteemed gentlemen, ladies, perhaps. Captain Link 1 and Captain Link. Yeah, Divine Nine has another Chair League caster on their team as the captain. Is on Divine Nine Basin. He did some really cool recap things for the end of Chair League Season 2 that were a lot of fun to check out. Cool. Draft has already started, so I'll switch this over to that because I'm good at this because I know what I'm doing. So it's going to be on Sky Temple, Focus Morales for GG, the home team. They ban out Falstad. Cigar gets taken off the board. Over on the Cavalier Guest channel, a half hour ago, I was co-casting with him, saw the value of Cigar, so I don't think he's going to... I don't think Cigar is going to make it one way or the other. Li Ming is the first choice for Focus Morales or GG. On this map, you can get a good amount of value on Li Ming over these Temple fights. If she's able to position herself properly, she can just hang back and poke people in the face pretty much with impunity. So, I'm curious to see what the rest of their composition is going to be like. With this earlier Li Ming pickup, I would not be surprised to see a double warrior composition of some sort. But Divine Nine was those backstage passes to the back line. They're going to start off with ETC. ETC has definitely risen in the ranks of warriors as far as priority goes. His ability to power slide and just land stuns on multiple heroes at the same time has just been downright impactful in team fights. Power slide is also a nice defensive tool. He has plenty of sustain with his E, some attack speed to assist other melee assassins like Kerrigan and stuff with their attack speed. But Divine Nine is going right out of the gate. They want to prioritize the Uther pickup for the Divine Shield, the Mosh Pit synergy. I like those choices a lot. I was wondering if we were going to see Kerrigan along with ETC or something along those lines, but they really value that secured engage. I would imagine we're going to see a melee assassin of some sort with the rest of their composition. Focus Morales or GG has to be thinking about this as well. As far as their namesake goes, focusing on the support could be pretty tough going against Uther, who is able to Divine Shield himself, which separates him from like Rhaegar, who just gets picked up now. You know, he can't ancestral healing himself. Morales has a hard time keeping themselves specifically alive. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to have some kind of dive-specific setup themselves. They do have one more choice, 3 seconds in the time pool. Zul's out there. Siege pressure is very important, as is locking down a solo lane hero. Thrall's going to get picked up. We're going to see some Orc Bros get selected here. I like that. The Root definitely is going to make sure that whoever dives is engaged. Make sure that they commit to that team fight. They're going to stick around a second or two longer, might bait out the early cleanse, which could be impactful in a longer team fight. Sundering is a solid interruption for Mosh Pit. It's a solid engage and disengage tool. Gives them a lot of options, which can pair really well with Li Ming, who really loves those cooldown resets. Joanna is going to be the second selection for a ban for Divine Nine. Knight takes pawn, brings a lot of wave clear to the table, just a lot of sustained Divine Shield. No, Bless Shield. Bless Shield is a good interrupt for Mosh Pit, as is Condemn with Iron Skin. So I definitely understand why you'd want to ban that. Focus Morales or GG is going to be looking at this. They see TC, Uther already taken. So I would, if I'm Focus Morales or GG, I'm considering a damage dealer. Kerrigan comes into the conversation. Greymane isn't as highly favored, but he could still definitely do some work with this kind of setup. He's also a very strong Divine Shield target himself, and they do ban out Greymane. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. A little bit. But this still does leave the door open for Kerrigan. Not taking Kerrigan in the first round suggests that they won't go for Kerrigan later on. She's a very high skill cap hero. You got to know what you're doing. If you don't have someone that's comfortable on the hero, taking Kerrigan becomes more of a liability than an asset. And I guess Focus Morales or GG are kind of banking on that. Go for the Throat is a lot more... It's a more guaranteed burst damage as opposed to what Kerrigan can bring to the table. So they're gambling pretty hard on that. Divine 9 has less than 30 seconds in their time pool before they have to take at least one hero. And they're going for the Tychus pickup. That takes another interrupt from Mosh Pit away from Focus Morales or GG. It definitely is going to put the front line of FMGG Lord Boo on notice, because the bigger they are talent at level 4 is a whole thing. Definitely melt your face sooner than you would prefer. So that's a solid choice. And on Sky Temple, one of those like, oh, ah! All right. Divine 9. See, I feel like that one's for me. If it's not, I'm just going to go ahead and assume it's for me. Artanis gets picked up. We're going to see StarCraft Warrior himself out here. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm wondering if we're going to see Suppression Pulse or the Purifying Beam. Murden is the selection for Focus Morales or GG. That's going to be the primary target for Tychus, I'm sure. And it actually kind of plays into Tychus's toolkit. Even with Avatar, that percent-based damage that Tychus does is going to melt him one way or the other. So that actually ends up being a rather favorable pick for Divine 9. But never trust a big butt and a smile. That girl is poison. Nara is going to be the last pick for Focus Morales or GG. So no Morales for them. Divine 9 has one hero left to select. They see all the cards on the table. Do they opt for a secondary support? That would really put a lot on Tychus' shoulders. I'm not sure if they want to do all that. Although Artanis, you know, he can do it. He can do damage. I feel like another range support. All right. I was going to say some more range damage would be cool here. And who better to bring that one to the table than Chromie? Interesting choice. Interesting choice. You look at Focus Morales for GG's composition, it's like, well, who can really get to Chromie if they position themselves properly? Between Artanis' swap, power slide, and the engage of all that, will Chromie be able to just hang out comfortably in the back and try to delete people? Very well could. Lunar with Leaping Strike could be a problem. But again, that's putting herself out of position. Like, how do you secure your own survival in that? These are questions that Focus Morales or GG ask themselves. But we're going to find out. We're loading it in a game now. It's going to be cool. It's hard for me to say who won this draft. The question marks for me are obviously going to be Chromie and Artanis. Artanis, you know, we don't see him in the meta that much these days. I love Artanis. Can you get the value out of him? Outside of Murden, there are no basic ability level stuns that would stop Artanis from being able to sustain himself. And in that, he could stand to be a really big menace for Focus Morales or G. I'm sure he would like that. Again, the Tychus pickup could definitely do a lot of work on Murden, so Divine 9 have put themselves in a pretty good spot, I feel. Here we go. We're going to find out. Over on the left side, we do have Focus Morales or GG. It's going to be Fire Team on Rhaegar. Baked Pie on Thrall. Brandon playing Li Ming. Lunara being played by Lear 2001. Darbo's on Murden. Over on the right, we got Divine 9. Jason Divine himself is on Uther. Divine Storm on Tychus. Nianu on Chromie. I reserve the right to butcher names. It's not personal. Don't mean it. Ice Fox Emily on Artanis. And Rabbit Penguin on ATC. Good look, have fun's getting called. Some sportsmanship. We like to see that. Yeah. Chromie Bomb hanging out here to see if anyone wants to rotate too cheekily. Sniffs out the W. No one's home. Everybody's hanging out mid on the side of Focus Morales. They don't like their level 1 fight against this double warrior composition, I would imagine. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Do not blame them at all. Artanis has already rotated top. He's gonna start soaking the lane there. Down bottom, Baked Pie going up against Divine Storm. Divine Storm has to be looking around like, I don't see anybody. I don't know how I feel about this. Baked Pie is just casually, it's Wabbit season pretty much down here. Just waiting for the right moment to land a root. So Divine Storm is right to be cautious. Up in the top lane, some poke goes down on Ice Fox Emily, but it's gonna be tough to take down Artanis this early, so long as they position themselves accordingly, even if you are leaving. I think Rabbit Penguin just showed himself. He rotates down the division. Darbo is able to rotate around. So no one's really made a hard commitment to looking for early aggression. Some poking. Brandon has been able to do a pretty good job on that. I don't know how to pronounce that. Not personal. Mean it. Jason's gonna get poked by Lear a little bit, but Uther's gonna be okay. Rabbit Penguin gonna start taking some of these shots off mid. Meanwhile, up in the top, Fire Team's gonna get some of these shots off the top temple. And Ice Fox Emily finds himself below 50% health. That's third. Considering the shield and the well, Brandon has really been able to land these orbs in Artanis' face quite reliably. Baked Pie might be AFK. Like, wait, what? Alright. Every time I look down here, Baked Pie's just hanging out in the bush. Curious to see how this 1v1 goes. In the top lane, Brandon has proved themselves to be quite the pickle. Ice Fox does avoid the orb. Not even close, bro. But just a 1-for-1 trade. Again, these teams look to be kind of biding their time, looking for opportunities later on. Seemingly wanting to invest in their late game potential. Do have an opportunity to look at some of these talents. So Wolf Run, Feral Heart, Q build for Thrall, Power Hungry, and Dominance. So they want the added burst damage as well as the survivability. Take some of the load off of Rhaegar's shoulders. Natural Perspective, Nimble Wisp. W build for Murden, as we are ones to suspect. Over on the right side, Conjurer's Pursuit, Protective Shield. They do go for the bigger they are. Murden has to keep an eye on that. W lands on Darbo. Does a good amount of damage. He has to use his Dwarf Toss, start backing away. With Divine Storm and Chromie focusing Darbo, he could stand to have a rough time. 3v3 action. Divine Storm is cheeky enough to step out and manages to juke the Storm. That could have turned into something. But Nianu on Chromie, they like this kind of situation. They're well protected. They're able to hang out in the back and just kind of press buttons. They weren't able to set up any kills. Rabbit Penguin face melts into the Uther stun, but Baked Pie is going to live to fight another day. Neither one of these teams have been able to secure a takedown just yet. Piercing Sands, Compounding Aether, Mobius Loop with the time, with the trait, getting their talents a level early. Look at them. Templar Zeal, Reactive Parry. That has Thrall's name written all over it. Sonic Synergy, Double Neck Guitar, Q build, this full displacement build setup. Students of the game, they're going to go ahead and get the Bruiser Camp right as the temple shows up. Good for Focus Morales. A Rabbit Penguin. The whole front line's in the top, so this could be a thing. That does give a moment to jump on, squish your heroes like Tychus and Chromie should they find themselves out of position. Baked Pie is no stranger to hanging out in these bushes waiting for the right moment. And Chromie's not who you want to send out front to go into this temple, and yeah. Chromie Chromie looking to take that cursory glance in the bush, finds out that that's a bad idea. Artanis is going to be next to fall. A lot of the damage went right out the window with Chromie being taken down. It really created a snowball style effect for the rest of this progression. The rest of the temple is effectively Focus Morales is for free at that point. Chromie has to be concerned about their positioning. They have to realize the hero of their own. Having the front line rotate down from top requires a measure of patience, or that can happen. That's going to give Focus Morales a sizable experience lead. They're on their way to level 10 now. They have 2 takedowns under their belt. Hey, Strophos, how's it going, man? Big Pie and Lear with Fire Team, they're going to be able to clear this siege camp. Darbo was kind of just distracting him, holding him up, but keeping something for them to look at. But with the tier advantage, they are wasting no time. They're going to jump in and go for this boss, and good on them. Divine 9 is in no position to really contest this without their heroics. Chromie has hers, but I don't think that's going to be the difference maker at all. One thing that's going that, you know, is a silver lining for Divine 9 here. At 6 minutes, the boss isn't going to do too much. It's more just a gesture to deny a response from Divine 9. You take these camps, you paint the map blue, and you just continue to apply pressure. You're not looking for a knockout punch with that boss. You have the time warp. No one's going to get yanked out of position there. Darbo, playing a dangerous game, is able to dwarf toss out of there, though. Ancestral healing is available should things get dicey. Chromie has not been able to apply a whole bunch of pressure just yet. The root goes down on Chromie. They're trying to get out of there, and the Sundering is not going to be enough. 81 health. Not even close, bro. Divine Storm is next to no health themselves. Ancestral healing is going to reset the health bar for Thrall. I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary. But going up against Chromie, you don't want to have 20% health and be like, oh man, guys, that was ooh. And that burst damage gets you. Don't want that, so I get it. Wave of Force. Fine Heroic. Followed up by Avatar. Pretty standard choices. Temple's up in 10 seconds. We're going to have 1 mid, 1 bottom. Teams are on even talent tiers, so Divine 9 could theoretically look to make some form of stand here. How do they prioritize? Earlier in the game, these teams opted to just trade out temples. With the boss already being taken off the board, Divine 9 doesn't have to worry about any shenanigans going on that front and giving up the bottom temple. And this is a good moment for Focus Morales. You know, they had some victories, they had some success. They're up in structures. They're already putting pressure on these keeps thanks to these temples. And Divine 9 is not really, you know, made too many aggressive plays. So they're just kind of living their life right now. The power slide goes in. The 3-person mosh is interrupted before too much damage can be done. Divine Shield gets used on ETC, continuing to lead the charge. Jason right behind. The orb hits. Not too much damage though. Rabid Penguin targeted and deleted. Chromie's trying to back away. The orb isn't even necessary. That's going to be another hero getting taken down. The stun is devastating on Uther, who is now the friendliest of ghosts. And Artanis gets blown up as well. This is a decisive team fight in the favor of Focus Morales. Or GG. Nicely done. 6 takedowns to 0. They have shots left on this bottom temple. Same for mid. They had the siege camp earlier who made its way across the map, applying pressure to this bottom keep. And with those heroes taken out and this tier advantage, they should be able to come away with this bottom temple this bottom keep without too much trouble. And they get that. First keep of the game claimed 9 minutes in, and they're all able to mount up and stroll away. Not bad. Not bad. Siege camp for posterity is going to get picked up. Just a little insult to injury, I guess. We're going to go ahead and take your siege camp too. Hope you don't mind, right? You're good with that? All right, cool. So Earth Shield's going to get picked up. Grace of Air, so no Giant Killer. Going up against the double warrior composition. That could have been pretty cool. Illusionist, Unfair Advantage, Healing Static. So Murden's, he's looking to stay. He doesn't want to go home. 13 around the corner for Divine 9, but not exactly here just yet. So the members of Focus Morales could look to make a pretty big play here. And Fire Team leading the charge, jumping in and getting poked for real. Doesn't get taken out though. Divine Shield's gonna save them. The swap on Fire Team is nicely timed. Fire Team still living, still alive before finally going down, but at what cost? 3 heroes get blown up. Make that 4. Chromie's just standing there like, oh. That's rough. I mean, that's the fight that Divine 9 really wanted. I mean, they had just gotten 13. They had just gotten 13, so the talent tier advantage kind of came on the back end of that. Had it shown up sooner, maybe it could have been better. But, I mean, they were effectively baited. When Fire Team went that far forward, it was just like, all right, this is a really good opportunity for us. But they were not able to close out that kill. And then by the time Fire Team was able to get back, they had already kind of committed to the team fight, especially after the swap on Rhaegar. So they just weren't able to get those kills. And once that first kill happens for Li Ming and the reset comes in, Focus Morales for GG is going to have a good time. They are enjoying a 3-level lead. They have the tier advantage yet again. It's going to be 2 temples. So there is some potential to just evade Focus Morales for Divine 9. But the boss is going to be up. And this is another situation kind of like Deja Vu, where it's like, oh, we can't really do anything about this boss because... Or, I mean... They're rotating down here like they wanted to contest it. I mean, they're late on the rotation, so the boss is going to get claimed one way or the other. But they effectively have to give up these 2 temples. Not only are they down a talent tier, but the core exposed in the bottom lane, they cannot allow this boss to just stroll up and start slapping the core. That could get rough. 4 members clearing this out. The boss is going to show up and say, hey, how's it going, man? You don't mind, excuse me, I'm just going to make my way over to the core. Oh, wait, no. Chromie's going to go over and join in on this effort. And this is huge because it's taking away so many things from Divine 9. That's another keep getting claimed. 2 temples wailing on the last set of structures that they had. Shield's going to drop. No core damage, though. But that's also time that they're not able to go around and soak. They cannot get the even talent tiers when everybody has to be there to properly defend against this boss. They've just been getting out, rotated, smothered, and they've been losing these team fights pretty handily. They're really going to have to try to pull a rabbit out of their hat and make something happen. And I think it's also going to take a mistake on Focus Morales' part to really allow them to get back into this game. But right now, Focus Morales for GG, they can play the most passive game you've ever seen in your life and be just fine. All they really need to do now is casually wait for level 20, wait for the next temple phase to come up. With all the structures gone, everything's slanting their way. The longer they drag this out, the more the catapults are going to be able to go across the map and apply pressure there and just limit the options that Divine 9 have to try to get back into this game. Level 16 has to get picked up as soon as possible for Divine 9, and they have to go hunting and they have to win a team fight quickly. Quick enough to be able to go back and continue to sweep up their core. Because they cannot afford to stroll too far away. They can't afford a prolonged fight because they're going to find catapults on their core who don't change targets anymore. So this is a rough situation. This is what can happen in Sky Temple as far as it being a snowbally affair. He's Undivined trying to land a stun on Lear, who puts the troll face on and says, no, get by my fort wall. We still have forts. Power Slide goes out, the stun follow-up. Darbo is not the best target to try to blow up. He is able to Dwarf Toss out of there. Jason poked down. Has to start backing away. Use a protective shield on himself. Lunara value. Lunara is a hero that Uther stands to struggle against. He's more single target focused in nature. Longer cooldowns on his heals. And that sustained DPS and AoE poison can be a handful. It's going to be a single temple up that's actually somewhat working in the favor of Divine 9. They don't have to worry about being split. But with no structures left, this is going to go straight to the core. And they're just kind of checkmated at this point. They're on even talent tier, so they could theoretically look to do that. But this is another instance where Chromie's leading the charge in a double warrior composition. The burst is not going to be able to take out Li Ming. The Divine Shield goes on the Mosh Pit, only able to lock down Murden, and they're not able to secure a kill off of that. Those are two big cooldowns that haven't gotten them much. Divine Storm manages to avoid that Storm Bolt. I think that would have been it for him. Uther's going to explode. He's not going to be able to come back. He doesn't have his level 20 talent. Fire Team mounts up. Wolf Run getting them values, so he gets away. And again, it's only Chromie left, who manages to snipe Rhaegar, so there is that going for him. But with this many heroes taken off the board, the Temple available, Chromie's gonna end up paying for that one. They were like, all right, real cheeky with the Rhaegar. And we finally got Rhaegar. You gotta take, it's the little things. It's the little things. Twice he fed. But that's gonna be GG. The core is gonna drop. Got him. So in the end, Focus Morales, GG, is going to come away with the victory over Divine 9, helping themselves to a victory to start off Season 3 of Cherry League. That's a nice start for them. Divine 9 played well. They just weren't able to come out on top. The Chromie pick never really came together for them. Chromie had the most damage on their team, but they just weren't able to secure those kills. The ET Artanis combination... well, I mean, it's hard to work as a front line if Chromie was like Chromie in the second temple phase. She got caught right in the beginning. Going in there first. Chromie's not who you want to send into the bush first. In most cases, like she's got Sandblast and everything else to scope that out. So that was just a positional mistake, but it had huge implications. Losing that team fight pretty much set the rest of that game in motion, where losing that team fight paved the way for heroics, paved the way to the boss, and Focus Morales or GG just never took their foot off the pedal at that point. It was a cool game, though. Ideally, you'd want to see more damage out of Artanis. Tychus, unfortunately, was never really able to set up and put a ton of pressure on Murden. So the minigun aspect that was few and far between. It just felt like there was just more coordination in team fights. I think it came down to a battle of the mages, and on paper, Li Ming just stands to have a good time against that by virtue of having those cooldown resets. Anytime someone died, it was like pretty much two other people were dying a second later because Li Ming was just jumping all over people. They had seven kills. So it's a fun game though. In the record books now. Focus Morales or GG.